Conquer social anxiety. Stoic techniques for confidence and calm. Introduction. Hello and welcome to this video on applying Stoic philosophy to conquer social anxiety in everyday situations. If you struggle with nervousness, fear of judgment, or embarrassment in social interactions, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll dive into the powerful wisdom and strategies of ancient Stoic philosophers to help you navigate these challenges. The Stoics were a school of Greek philosophers around 300 BC who developed a practical system of logic and ethics to achieve tranquility and resilience amidst life's challenges. While their teachings originated centuries ago, the core principles remain highly relevant and applicable today. We'll explore key Stoic concepts and techniques to reduce social anxiety and boost confidence in social situations like conversations, public speaking, and networking events. You'll hear insights from great Stoic thinkers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, whose words illustrate a profound understanding of the human condition. The brilliance of Stoic philosophy lies in its simplicity and relatability. Anybody can understand and apply these teachings to their experiences and find solutions. I'll use plenty of examples from our contemporary world to ensure these ancient ideas resonate. Chapter 1. Understanding social anxiety. To overcome social anxiety, we must first understand it deeply. Social anxiety affects millions of people worldwide, arising from nervousness and fear of judgment or embarrassment in social situations. As the ancient Stoic Seneca said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Social anxiety can manifest physically with symptoms like a racing heart, sweaty palms, a shaky voice, or even nausea. Beyond discomfort, it can cause people to avoid social situations out of fear, like public speaking, meeting new people, or attending gatherings. Overcoming social anxiety requires commitment, but the benefits of engaging fully in life are immense. Think about all the missed opportunities, connections, and constraints when social fears take over. Imagine confidently going after that new job, speaking up in meetings without hesitation, or attending social events and being present instead of consumed by anxious thoughts. The Stoics remind us that while anxiety itself is a natural response, how we perceive and respond to that feeling determines our suffering. As Epictetus stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." With guidance from Stoic principles, we can reframe our perspective on social anxiety from a scary obstacle to an opportunity for growth and mastery over our minds. Chapter 2. The Stoic Dichotomy of Control. One of the most fundamental concepts in Stoic philosophy is the dichotomy of control, the idea that we only have complete control over our thoughts, judgments, and actions. Everything else, the behavior of others, external events, outcomes, is out of our control. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When it comes to social anxiety, much of our fear stems from wanting to control the uncontrollable, how others perceive us, whether they judge or reject us, or if something embarrassing happens. The Stoics argue this is a recipe for inner turmoil. Imagine you're about to give a presentation at work. Anxiety might stem from thoughts like, "What if I mess up my words?" Or, "What if people think I'm incompetent?" These worries come from wanting to control how the audience perceives you, which is ultimately out of your control. What is within your control is how prepared you are, how you regulate your emotions and self-talk, and how you respond to whatever happens during the presentation. The ancient Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius summed it up nicely. "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Rather than agonizing over what you cannot control, focus on maintaining your preparation, poise, and rational perspective. This refocusing of energy is incredibly empowering. Chapter 3. Practicing rational thinking. At the core of social anxiety are the irrational thoughts and cognitive distortions that fuel fear and nervousness. As Epictetus wisely stated, man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them. Our minds can spin anxious stories and worst-case scenarios in social situations that have no basis in reality. While we cannot always control our initial gut reactions, we can exercise control over how we process and respond to those thoughts and feelings. Imagine you're at a party and see a group of people you don't know well. Anxious thoughts might start. They're going to think I'm awkward and weird if I try to talk to them. I'll just embarrass myself. This is the irrational view causing you disturbance and anxiety. A Stoic approach would be to pause, draw in a deep breath, and start questioning those anxious thoughts rationally. Is it true they will definitely think I'm weird just for trying to be friendly? Do I have evidence to say that with certainty? Even if they did judge me negatively, how big of a deal is that really in the grand scheme of things? Have there been times I've thought people judged me harshly, but in reality, they did not? By calmly interrogating irrational fears with Socratic questioning, you can weaken their power over you. You realize the distressing thoughts are not based on facts but pessimistic fortune-telling. The Roman statesman Seneca reinforced this by saying, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." With consistent practice regulating your mind this way, you take back control from the irrational and anxious mental loops, becoming more grounded in the present reality of social situations rather than getting hijacked by worst-case scenarios. Chapter 4. Building Confidence Through Virtue. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is that true confidence and self-respect come from living a virtuous life, following reason and wisdom. As Epictetus boldly stated, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You build an unshakable inner strength when you align your thoughts and actions with virtues like courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom. This core self-assuredness becomes your unbendable rock in the ocean of social anxiety. Let's start with the virtue of courage. Social fears often stem from avoiding discomfort. We don't want to feel anxious, judged, or embarrassed, so we dodge certain situations altogether. However, the Stoics would argue that psychological discomfort is inevitable in life. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." By avoiding discomfort, we let our fears control us rather than our higher rational minds. True courage involves leaning into the anxiety and taking wise action for a higher purpose. It's having an honest conversation with a friend about an issue in the relationship despite the nervousness. It's raising your hand to speak up in a meeting when you have something valuable to contribute. It's introducing yourself to someone new at an event even if your heart is pounding. Each courageous action builds your confidence further for the next. It reinforces the belief that you have the strength to withstand life's inevitable difficulties. Stoicism also emphasizes the virtue of wisdom and its role in self-governance. Someone operating from wisdom has perspective. They do not make rash judgments or give unbridled power to irrational thoughts and emotions like social anxiety. The wise person can observe their anxious feelings and say, "This is just an instinctive response based on irrational fears about the unknown. It doesn't have to control me." They can regulate their mind and body through negative visualization, self-talk, and conscious breathing. Remember, with sacrifice before no approach is made, nor can a thing be hunted down that will not run away. This means you must make some effort or give up something before achieving a goal. It also implies that you can only pursue something willing to move or change. If something is fixed or uninterested, it can't be chased or caught. Similarly, social confidence comes from diligently practicing wisdom, continually catching and reframing anxious thoughts before they run rampant. Finally, the Stoics revered the virtue of temperance, which is all about exercising restraint, moderation, and self-discipline. This is key for managing social anxiety, as the symptoms often involve a sense of losing control. Someone acting with temperance does not get hijacked by anxious emotions in the heat of social interaction. They can stay grounded and poised. They think before reacting. They have the restraint to pause and recenter themselves when anxiousness arises rather than letting it spiral. The philosopher Zeno of Citium described the temperate person as being unmoved by pains or pleasures. While feeling some nerves is inevitable, you can develop the mental toughness to keep that state from controlling you. You cultivate an unshakable core of self-confidence by embodying virtues like courage, wisdom, and temperance in your daily life. You stop being at the mercy of social fears and instead operate from a place of inner fortitude. Chapter 5: The Power of Present Moment Awareness. One of the biggest pitfalls that feed into social anxiety is getting trapped in your mind, caught up in worries about the future or ruminations about the past. The Stoics recognize that the present is the only moment you truly have control over. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, confine yourself to the present. When fully grounded in the here and now during social interactions, there is no room for anxious thoughts about what could go wrong or rehashing some embarrassing moment. You exist in the living reality before you. Let's imagine you're conversing with a coworker about an upcoming project. Suppose you're fully engaged and listening with focused attention. In that case, you cannot simultaneously be tangled up in anxious stories like, "What if I say something stupid?" or "I rambled weirdly in our last meeting." Those thoughts have no space to take root when your mind is anchored in the present. The Stoic philosopher Seneca drove this point by saying, "Life is divided into 3 periods: that which has been, that which is, and that which will be. Of these, the present time is short, the future is doubtful, the past is certain." To master social anxiety, you must train your mind to stop fleeing from the present. A simple Stoic practice is to center your attention on your breath when you feel anxiety rising in a social situation. Notice the sensations of the air moving in and out of your body. Feel your feet rooted to the ground. Observe the details of the environment around you. Use your 5 senses to anchor your awareness in the immediate moment. Another powerful tool is to remind yourself of the Stoic teaching that there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond our power or our will. You do not need to fixate on how others might judge you. Simply focus on being your authentic self and connecting with the person before you. When you direct your mental energy towards present moment awareness, you rob anxious thoughts of their power to derail you. You begin experiencing social interactions with greater ease and joy rather than seeing them as sources of dread. Chapter 6: Embracing Discomfort with Joy. A core principle of Stoic philosophy is voluntarily exposing yourself to discomfort to build resilience. The Stoics practiced what is known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, where they would intentionally visualize worst-case scenarios to diminish their power. As Epictetus stated, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." This deliberate exposure to discomfort is invaluable for overcoming social anxiety. The more you voluntarily confront social situations that trigger anxiety, the more you build tolerance and resilience. It's akin to how lifting progressively heavier weights strengthens muscles over time. Consider attending social events where you know nobody, volunteering to lead a presentation at work, or practicing small talk with strangers. Rather than dreading these discomforts, embrace them with a sense of joy. Know each challenge will refine your inner strength and mastery over social anxiety. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca stated, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. You can even transform exposure into a fun game. Set small, manageable goals like introducing yourself to one new person at an event or asking a question in a meeting. Celebrate each victory, no matter how minor. As you continually lean into discomfort, You rewire your brain to see social situations as opportunities for growth rather than threats. You begin to associate joy and fulfillment with pushing past social fears rather than avoiding them. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing this video on conquering social anxiety with Stoic philosophy. We've explored timeless Stoic principles like the dichotomy of control, rational thinking, virtue, present moment awareness, and embracing discomfort. These powerful tools can transform your relationship with social anxiety and help you confidently navigate any social situation. The Stoic philosophers remind us that while we cannot control all external events, we have immense power over our thoughts, judgments, and actions. By applying their wisdom, you can build unshakable inner strength and resilience. So go forth with the courage of Epictetus, the wisdom of Seneca, and the equanimity of Marcus Aurelius. Practice these teachings daily, and you will conquer social anxiety, live more fully in the present, and build authentic connections with those around you. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to this channel for more empowering Stoic insights.